My name is Jason Schultz from Alphabet Services. We comprise brands like Made to Match and marketing agency Five Tails. So in terms of one thing that I wish I'd known when I was starting my career in marketing is that just sort of how non-linear the learning would be. It didn't necessarily progress from one thing which then led to the next, which then led to the next. For me, I actually went into the field of accounting first and back into marketing. And I never really would have thought the accounting skills that I'd learned would specifically excel and presenting sort of concrete and complex ideas to other people and really explaining that would have such a strong influence on how I would sort of approach and succeed marketing, because a lot of that sort of technical knowledge and that know-how and even that skill set in terms of Excel has really changed or had a very strong influence in terms of specifically what I was able to bring from a marketing point of view. So something that I am very excited about in the marketing space, specifically in the space of SEO, is the concept of entities. And I think it's really beneficial going forwards because it's a great way to think about the search landscape, not just and from many different points of view and many different levels in terms of your marketing. So a really easy example to be able to understand that is if you typed in Prime Minister of Australia, Scott Morrison. It's going to be able to tie together Google is managing to tie together several entities when you type a search term like that in, and you're going to see a very rich snippet that appears at the top of search. It's going to show that it understands, what the Prime Minister of Australia is. It's going to understand what Australia is, and it's going to understand who Scott Morrison is, and it's actually going to tie all that information together. And so that's a really good understanding that because they exist, those three things, Australia, Prime Minister, and Scott Morrison, those three entities, because they exist frequently enough together and on authoritative enough properties, they're able to yield a single result from Google's point of view. And while that's a very high level result, and typically you're never going to be working with clients or working in brands that have that higher level of results, the same concept applies right throughout your search and content strategy as far as marketing goes. And a really good example is, let's say you're in the house cleaning space, for example. If you were to write an article about how to clean a bathroom, there are very related topics or even shoulder niches to that, or even subtopics underneath that. And it really plays to how you would actually plan out even an article about as simple as how to clean a bathroom in order to give the best answer and therefore give your brand the best chance of appearing right at the top of the search results. For example, Google is going to understand that the entity of a bathroom and the entity of cleaning a bathroom is related to cleaning a shower glass door, for example, or cleaning a shower head. And it's going to understand all of those different entities within that, and it's going to be able to bring all that information together. Therefore, when you're planning out your search strategy, should the article about how to clean your bathroom, should it have a heading in there about how to clean shower glass doors, or should that be a separate piece of content altogether? And how should those two pieces of content be linked to each other when you're coming up with that content, when you're planning out your content strategy? So it's a very interesting space to be in. It's a very practical example of how, but that same thinking in terms of entities applies all throughout search, and it's just a fascinating area to really start to get into. But really, more so than that, is just a really good lens in terms of being able to understand and analyze the success, but also the planning and the strategy of what goes into SEO and what goes into content marketing as well.